Like I told you in the other video, I split my shower up, which means I didn't finish showering. My hair's still squeaky clean because I scrubbed it down. I just didn't use my henna. And I didn't wash my body. I washed, part of my body. You know what I mean? But it doesn't matter because the soap, I didn't scrub down my body, but the soap and the shampoo still, the water still went all over me, so. But I am going to do a part 2 of the shower. Maybe not tonight, maybe tomorrow. I'm quite certain it won't surprise any of you to learn that I was right about that Holbrook, Massachusetts crash with one fatality. Unfortunately, too many people think, young people especially, they think they're invincible. They think whatever, but more likely than not, just like I told you about those 5 teenagers in Stoughton or whatever, where one was driving, he lived, 4 of his friends dead. Okay? And investigation proved me right that it involved either impaired driving, as in drugs, alcohol, speeding, or a combination. In that instance, it was a combination. And sad but true, any one of them could have been driving that night. Okay? 4 dead. He's going to go to jail, of course, but he's going to have to live with the rest of his life that he killed 4 of his friends. Again, he could have been the one dead and someone else could have been driving because they were all, you know what I mean? That's what happens. Well, whenever it's particularly young people, a weekend night, and involves no other vehicle, as in a car crashes into a tree, or in the case of this Holbrook thing, into a house, okay? More likely than not, it involves impaired driving, as in drugs, alcohol, or both, and speeding. That's what it was with this. The only reason I remember her name, 20 years old, her boyfriend was driving them home from a party, falsely believing he was invincible, drunk, high, and was going upwards of 130 miles an hour. At least, not that it makes it any better, that's how my college boyfriend was rolling, but at least some people who drink actually, they are overly cautious, if they know they're shit-faced, they're going to drive really slow and careful, whatever, and then you still don't have good reflexes if something happens. But then there are others who will just whatever, like going 130 miles an hour. But anyway, he's lucky. He said he sliced through a house. I guess he hit a telephone pole, sliced through a house. He's lucky that he didn't kill anyone in that house. There was the kid lived there, whatever. For whatever reason, I think the kid was, they weren't home that night, or they could have been dead as well, or very seriously hurt. But her name's Nicole Ritchie, 20 years old. Her boyfriend was driving. I guess she was in the front seat with him. He was driving. You never know why one person dies and another. That's chance too, or something happens. Someone can get impaled by something or go through a winch, whatever. The friend lived. He's not going to be responsible for anything. It's going to be the driver. And the judge set a high bail, even though the defense attorneys wanted less. They set it at $50,000. The guy was drunk, high, and speeding. And according to maybe what the friend said, remember Nicole Ritchie's dead, okay, the girl, she's 20 years old, a woman, it was her boyfriend. I just saw him in court, he's still all bruised up or whatever. But the fact is, actions have consequences, okay? Too many people think they can just defy death or whatever, they just think whatever, I don't know. I just know that 9 times out of 10, probably 9.9999 times out of 10, when you hear of something like that, I told you guys, I said, this happened. When it's a young person, when it's a weekend night, and there's no other vehicle involved, chances are it involved intoxication, drugs, alcohol, speeding, the whole 9 yards. And in this instance, same damn thing as the other instance I was right about, okay? And it's sad. It's sad. Because you know, chances are when it is a group of people, they're all probably shit-faced, you know? But the driver is the only one responsible. That's how it works in this life. He made bad choices and he's going to pay for them. And he should pay for them. You know? He's going to pay for them worse because it wasn't just speeding, it was illegal. He was, you know, drunk and high, so. But these things happen and, you know, it's like they happen because people just, you know, they happen and innocent people get killed, okay? I'm not going to sit there and say anybody in that car driving with him under the influence, they were probably under the influence, all the other two, one dead, one not, one his girlfriend and one a friend, male, they're not innocent in the manner, Nicole's not innocent in the manner of which if he had hit those people in that house who were just home watching TV or something, you know? Because you still make the choice to get in the car with somebody who's shit-faced, even if you're not the driver. You still can kill innocent people on the street. You still can, okay? I told you I made those choices in college. I got in the car with people who just, it's amazing, didn't get wrapped around a tree or something. It's amazing. I remember from our frat thing, whatever, the girl, we were coming from dorm, she couldn't even hold her keys in her hand, and she's the one who's going to drive, and a million of us, figuratively speaking, a whole bunch of us were piling into her tiny car all on top of each other. We made it, just like so many people do, and then the unlucky ones don't. But I can say, in all honesty, I never, ever, ever drove while under the influence, and never would. I never drove a car while under the influence, okay? And I never would. I used to sarcastically say, I can't imagine it. I can't imagine driving in this condition. I can't imagine these people do this, you know? Anyway. I know I never would have, had I been somebody who continued driving and not just stopped driving a million years ago. For a variety of reasons, including just not having the money to get a car, and then being with Joe for all those years after I was out of college and he had a car, I didn't need to have a car, you know. But whatever. I know that I never would have. You could say, how do you know that? I just do. I know me. I just know that I wouldn't have. I wouldn't have. I'll risk my own life. I'll walk around at 4 o'clock in the morning in California in dark streets and whatever, but I know that I never would have got behind the wheel of a car while intoxicated. I know that I wouldn't have. I didn't do it when I had the car, even though that was only for a year, but I know that I never would have. I just, you know, I just know me and I wouldn't do it. I said, I'll risk my own life, but not, wouldn't do it. You know, you get behind the wheel of a car like that, you are not just risking your own life, you're risking the lives of innocent bystanders. Ten-year-old girl, emotional problems, I don't know where, somewhere in the United States. It was on Inside Edition. Maybe I haven't watched Wellness Tonight yet. I was talking to my mom. She's doing okay. It was boiling hot in her apartment. So she opened what windows she could, and she had him come and open the windows she couldn't open. And she agreed with me that it would be smart to, you can keep all the windows in the apartment open, but close your bedroom windows tonight because it does get cooler at night and you can catch a draft, and, you know, while you're sleeping and unaware. And, you know, so she agreed with me. She actually said it before I did. She said, yeah, I'm not going to keep the bedroom windows open tonight. Anyway, 10-year-old girl. daughter or somebody running a daycare center, it goes back to the same thing. I feel for parents who you take such chances having your kids in daycare. You know, you just never know. Every once in a while you hear horror stories, you know. This particular one, she was holding these people's baby, 6-month-old baby. I wonder if they're going to be sued. It's not going to bring back their baby, but, you know, because maybe you shouldn't have had, if your little girl has emotional problems, perhaps you shouldn't have been handling the kids in your daycare center, but we'll set that aside. Holding the baby, accidentally dropped the baby. The baby, of course, gets hurt being dropped and doesn't stop crying, so rather than get help, she stomps on the baby's head. Baby fought for his life for 2 whole days, but he died. And the dad was like, I don't view that her as a little girl, I view her as a criminal. But the fact is, she is a little girl. You know what I mean? This wasn't premeditated, and so it's a horror story, but she does have problems. So, I don't know, perhaps the parents of the daycare center are more responsible than she is. Perhaps she shouldn't have been allowed unsupervised around the children, you know? I mean, that's how I feel. Not because you can't be tried as an adult as a 10-year-old, but there's a difference between a little girl or a little kid panicking because they drop a kid and they think, oh my God, I dropped the kid, I broke the kid, you know, now the kid won't stop crying, but so she stomped on the kid's head to shut him up. I mean, that's just horrific, okay? That's different than like someone a kid plotting to kill his brother or sister or kill his parents, you know, at age 10, or kill a sibling, or kill a schoolmate, you know. I'm just saying this objectively, that if the girl has emotional problems, I don't think, you know, they're going to throw the book at her, so to speak. But I understand the grieving dad, but it is still a little girl. Even that guy who went crazy that morning in the library and stabbed that innocent girl to death, she was just there studying. He was known about that. Where is it? Was it West? Whatever it was, Westminster. I don't know, but he was known by the police. He was known by the community as having severe mental problems, and he slipped through the cracks, and this is what wound up happening. You know, he arbitrarily decided to stab that girl to death. And an older man tried to help her, and he got stabbed himself. She tried to run away, and it was like a horror movie. He was chasing after her. He was intent on stabbing her to death. He didn't even know her, you know. And that's horrific, but you can't view it the same as like someone who is just a psycho or sociopath and doesn't have like that kind of history of mental problems. So. This is horrific. But I'm just looking at objectively from a judge's point of view. I think that a judge is going to look at it that way too, that it's a 10-year-old girl who panicked and she didn't plot it. You know, it wasn't planned. It's horrific. I mean, she could... But that being said, she needs to go into a mental hospital for a long time, just like those Slender Man girl, you know, got convicted or whatnot. Those two tried to kill one of their friends, and they didn't succeed, but they left her for dead. And they both are serving a long, long time in mental hospitals, okay? They were a little older, not much older, a couple years, I think, 12 instead of 10, but it is horrible. But you do, I can see the dad saying, I view her as a criminal. I know, because she killed your son, but she didn't plan to kill your son, and not that it was an accident either. The accident was dropping him, but she stomped on his head. It's awful. Oof. Only the dad spoke. If there is a mom in the picture, she's probably just beside herself with grief and couldn't speak. But the parents of that little girl have to hold themselves partially responsible too. Because if she has those kind of emotional problems, perhaps she shouldn't have been allowed around the children in the daycare center they were running. Am I right or wrong? I mean, I don't know. I think I'm right, but that doesn't mean I am. Last time I checked, but every time I turn on World News Tonight, I hear it gone up higher. You know, 79 people dead in the fires in California. It's probably higher today. Like 1,000 unaccounted for, but that doesn't mean they're all dead. Like I told my mom, that's just because it's so hard for communication and you don't know what's happening. But I'm sure there's going to be a hell of a lot more dead. And then the new problem is the toxic smoke. Apparently the smoke is so bad around there that it's like it's like smoking 11 cigarettes a day. It's just horrible. So my mom and I were both sick as dogs, and I'm like, I know, Mom, but think of all the other the shit going on. The people in the Merrimack Valley, and they still don't have heat, and it's bitter cold here, and it's been over 2 months, and 10,000 still don't have heat or ability to cook or anything. It's just, and again, someone needs to be held accountable for that. Last time I was looking a couple weeks ago, heard that they're trying to hold Columbia Gas responsible. Yeah, you should be held responsible. This was carelessness. This was absolute carelessness on the part of your people who weren't even the long-time people, you know. They were contractors or whatever. They were... Remember, there was one death in that one. Leonel Rondon died. Freak thing. Sitting in the driveway of a friend, and the chimney explodes and smashes his car, and he just got his license that day. Such irony. You're like, how do you remember this stuff? Because I'm smart and I have a pretty damn good memory. Not an exceptional memory, but I have a good memory, you know. There's certain things that... Oh, did you guys hear? That's the weirdest shit too. That ex-veteran, that young guy, gets up to go to the bathroom at the game somewhere in Massachusetts. Again, I don't put these kinds of details into my head, but gets up to, you know, like exactly where or what, but gets up to use the bathroom, never returns. It's 4 days later. They didn't find him. They're looking at surveillance, whatever. And last night on World News Tonight, they were saying, well, we found a body a couple miles from there. They're, you know, and forensics, they're trying to figure out if that's him or not, but that's so bizarre. When I first heard that, my mom and I were watching World News Tonight, I'm like, Mom, that's like, was he abducted by aliens? I mean, you just disappear into thin air. You go to the bathroom and you never come back. And his car, I mean, it goes without saying, his car wasn't gone, okay? He was at a game. And then I said to my mom, which is true too, I'm like, if he was a victim of foul play, it's usually women that would happen to, not a guy, not men, you know? So, weird. So I don't know, I haven't watched World News Tonight yet. I turned the heat up to 75. It was a warmer day today anyway, so when it's really cold out, it could be 70 in here and it feels cold. And today it was on 70 and it said 71 in here, but it wasn't cold. Right? The stuff I'm wearing is filthy, so I at least what I'm wearing, this might be summer shit, not this, but I'm wearing it without, you know, it's all clean. Everything's clean except the bra. I don't wash my bras like I should, but my underwear's clean, the shorts are clean, this is clean. You know, joking last night. My mom was watching TV in there. Not on food. I had my glass of apple cider vinegar, Bragg's apple cider vinegar, Bragg's organic apple cider vinegar with water, and I was taking vitamins. And but remember, I'm also choking on phlegm. I'm also coughing up phlegm. So somehow it was kind of just coincided or whatever. While I was taking the vitamin with the vinegar, the apple cider vinegar water, but it was very diluted, I wound up choking on phlegm, and then the water vinegar went down the wrong way, and then I couldn't breathe. Seriously, I was over here, I couldn't breathe. And I later told my mom, like, you know, you don't panic. I knew I wasn't choking on food. I'm not going to panic. But I couldn't breathe. Or I couldn't, when I say couldn't breathe, I couldn't breathe easily, you know. I thought this was like was to be strangled. Or like poor Omar with any pug with the reverse sneezing. And then you could say, because I was thinking that this morning, I'm like, well, you know, why did God have to design the pug with that reverse sneezing? You know, that must be so scary for these pugs that I read about it, because I never knew what that was, and they can't breathe. And then you have to say, hey, if there is a God, he didn't fucking design the pug or any other dog. He made a wolf. That's it. End of story. He didn't make any dogs. He made the wolf. We made the dogs. Okay? It's our fault the pug is like that, or the bulldog with the, you know, any of the pushed in nose, whatever. So, not God's fault. Because I went back on myself. I'm like, because I couldn't breathe. It was awful. Now, I've had liquid go down my throat the wrong way. We all have. But it goes away kind of quickly. You know, it doesn't last long. This was, it combined somehow with phlegm, and I couldn't breathe. I felt like somebody would feel like they were being strangled or just whatever. I couldn't breathe. And it was scary as motherfucking hell. I was like, I couldn't breathe. No, I could barely breathe. But I didn't panic. Because again, I wasn't choking on food. I saw on one of those shows, Inside Edition, whatever, trying to save your life. I think Oz was on it, on the Inside Edition, trying to tell you how different things how to save your life. But, you know, even if you're choking on food, you don't panic. Panic can be the worst thing. It's how you wind up dead. Trying to teach you how to... You think I would ever remember that? I wouldn't. I wouldn't. I watched it. My mom used to tell me she knew how to do that. You throw yourself against the cabinet to try to get the food up, but meanwhile you're in a panic. And he says, well, you don't think you just have seconds. You actually have minutes before you die. You know, yeah. Thanks. But it is scary when you live alone, you know. I don't know the Heimlich anyway. Neither does my mom, I don't think. Or maybe she thinks she does. I used to say, do you know the Heimlich? And she went like, but I don't know if she officially knows it. And then I was thinking about, I was doing the dishes today. I was over here. We have this fire extinguisher over there that's just been sitting over there gathering dust the entire time my mom's lived here, so over 10 years. They don't last forever, those things. We don't know how to use it anyway. And I read, you don't just throw those things away, but I think you can call the fire department and they'll come and get it. They expire, you know. There's no point in having it there. The couple small little fires we've had here, we would have never, neither my mother or I would ever have grabbed that fire extinguisher. We don't know how to use it. What's the point, you know? So it's just like a thorn in my side because it's just always there in this corner. I think I showed it to you guys before in the video. I don't know how old the thing is. It might have been there the 20 years or so that someone else was living here before my mom was, you know? So, it needs to go. It bothers me that it's there. Pretty much because, like I said, no one's going to use it, and it's just there on the floor. Guy who murdered his pregnant wife and 2 little girls. He got life in prison, you know. I already told you this, but he was actually sentenced now. He got the maximum. It's no possibility of parole. I told you his parents believe his cockamamie story that she killed the girls and he killed her in a fit of rage. If that was really true, I don't think he would have taken the plea. I think it's all just made up bullshit. But the parent, the mom, he wouldn't even look at his mom in court, but she's like, I want you to know I forgive you, son, or whatever. And she's not going to say, why did he do this? I told you she believes this story. She was clinging to it. My son's not a monster. He didn't kill his little girls. He killed his wife because she killed the little girls. And, of course, that pissed off her, Sinead, the dead woman's friends and family, to no end, as it should piss them off. But the thing is, in the eyes of the law, he admitted to killing them all, so his parents can cling to whatever. But of course the mom made sure in the court, she just said, I'll never know or I'll never understand how this tragedy happened. See? She's not going to ever, she won't acknowledge it. She doesn't care that he admits it. She wanted him to retract it. I told you this in another video. She wanted him to go to court and to not take the plea and to fight for his life. She feels like, you know, he's not going to get the death sentence, but she feels like it's the same going to prison. But nobody's going to believe him. She can't defend herself, the dead woman he admittedly killed. No one's going to believe that she killed the girls and not him. So, he wanted to save his sorry-ass life. I already told you, I don't pretend to be any kind of Christian. I don't fucking care if something happens to him in prison. Okay? I keep watching that video. My daddy's my hero. He's something. He does everything to help me. Oh. You know what I mean? So, his parents can be in denial. The fact is, in the eyes of the law, he admitted it, he did it. They can believe whatever the fuck they please. It pissed me off when Inside Edition had him speak and saying that it's not true, and my son's not a monster, and I believe him. He called me and said, I killed her because she killed the girls. And no one's buying it. No one's buying it. And you knew no one would buy it. So if it is the truth, no one will ever know. And I don't believe it is. And then the mom of him is trying to say she's unstable and she's this and she's that, you know. She can't defend herself because your son definitely killed her. You know, it's just, ugh. Anyway, he's off to prison. I don't care if he meets a, you know, could care less. Of course, Sinead's dad was like, you know, prison's too good for him, yeah. But you agreed to the plea. I think they had to agree to it, right? You can't just make the plea, and I think, wouldn't her parents have had the dead woman, the dead daughter, you know, would they have to agree to that plea? They let him take the plea, because at least it cleared the daughter's name, and he's trying to say that she killed the girls, you know. Oh, and the mistress, that was on Inside Edition 2, she came forward. Apparently she's the one who helped the police crack the case or whatever, because she saw him on the news begging for his wife and children's return and blah, 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 whatever, and she went to the police, and she's like, I've been sleeping with him, and he didn't tell me. He took his wedding ring off or whatever, so if he can lie about that, he could be lying about anything, and, you know. I think her dad, the dead Sinead's, the dad, or the grandfather too, the little girls, but she's like, you're a heartless monster. He didn't respond. He wouldn't say anything in court either. His lawyer said something for him. He knows it rings hollow, but he's sorry. Why'd you do it in the first place? I told you what Joe says. Twin Peaks, Garbanzia. Pain and suffering, that you get taken over. Just like in Twin Peaks, they get taken over by whatever. But you have to allow it to happen to you in the first place, see? show's on tonight, The Good Doctor. Neighborhood's on too. It's alright. It's interesting. Tonight's going to tackle, racism, but it's good. At least, Dave and Gemma, Dave's mom apparently is definitely racist. You know that from the commercials, where it's like, for the, whatever you call it. What do you call it when they show the thing that's going to be on in a TV show? Not a commercial, it's I don't know what you call it. Anyway, and she's like, it's like you think I don't know how to talk to the blacks. That in itself is like, anybody smart can see even her just saying that, but I don't know. The show's alright. I'm watching it as a white person. I have no idea how black people, African American people feel about that show. I don't know. It's still a comedy. It tries to tackle issues and whatnot, but I just watch it because it's a novelty, and But anyway, The Good Doctor's on tonight. I like that. I found out that the crossing I told you was isn't coming back. That was canceled, and I guess For the People is coming back, but not probably for a few months, because it started midway, so I guess it will start again midway during this coming year. Is that it? I guess that's all I have to say. I'm running out of steam anyway. I think we'll postpone part 2 of the shower until tomorrow. It's good to have a little break from my mom. I didn't want her to go unless she was clean, but she's getting stir crazy and restless, But it's good to have a little break. It's not like I had a little break and sat my ass down and watched TV. I did shit. I cleaned up all the leaves in the back porch. I put them in garbage bags. I didn't do that much, but I did stuff. I did part 1 of my shower, which was wonderful. Scrubbing my head and scrubbing it over and over. Ugh, felt so gross. Part 2, I'll use my henna shampoo and conditioner and wash my body more thoroughly. My type of songs. The songs that I got the other day. NutriBullet broke. I have no idea why. It just stopped working. And then my mom said, I thought we had two. I said, yeah, years ago when you weren't even around, I accidentally blended up a metal spoon in it. Note to self, with the NutriBullet, when you stir and stuff, use a giant spoon. Don't use a smaller spoon and then forget that you did it and it sinks down in and then you blend it up and break the NutriBullet. So, and then, as coincidences would happen, we're in the market for a new NutriBullet, and I saw it had a thing on the news or on World News Tonight, I think, where it's having special deals or whatever, and one of them was that Bloomingdale's has NutriBullets for half price. But I don't know if that's the new kind of NutriBullet I heard about where you don't have to press it down, where it just sits on its own. That was supposed to be the new improved NutriBullet, which is also safer because there has been lawsuits against NutriBullet and horror stories where NutriBullet claims you weren't using the thing correctly. This was on Inside Edition, but it's scary because you have to sit there and hold it down, and there have been times where it's exploded and blades have sliced people's hands all up, and it's happened sometimes. I don't know how often, but that scared me when I saw that happen. It didn't stop me from using the NutriBullet, but I'll tell you about me. Every time I used the NutriBullet after that, I was scared. I still did it, but I was imagining that happening. So it is a lot nicer if they make a NutriBullet that just sits there like a blender does, and that you don't have to sit there and press down. Supposedly that's the new way they make NutriBullets, but that doesn't mean that Bloomingdale's isn't selling the old version that's half price, see? So, just as an example. But it was interesting, the NutriBullet broke. Just broke. No reason. Remember the other one, we had two, the other one broke for a reason. This one broke a couple days ago for no reason. And then, remember when the old one broke, it was the old machine, because we had two. So because I was sick and feeling sorry for myself and I'd already made my shake. I wanted that shake so bad with the blueberries and you know what I mean, and the spinach and the blueberry. I just wanted it so badly that I found the old base to the NutriBullet, right? That, remember when it broke, it was its own thing with the container and the plastic thing and the NutriBullet. So I still never threw that away. Okay? So I found that and decided just for the hell of it to try my shake that was all made that I wanted desperately, and I put it on that and it worked. But it seemed like it was, I could smell something, it was smoking, and I'm like, this is ridiculous. I did it just then because I so desperately I felt so bad for myself. I wanted that shake so bad, and I made it, and you know, I made the shake, and I risked it, but I was scared, and it smelled a little bit, and I'm like, even though it worked, I'm like, I'm not going to do this again. I did it this once, I'm not going to do it again. I just need to throw the NutriBullets away and start over. But I love having a NutriBullet. Oh, I love the fucking NutriBullet. So you know, and my mom loves those shakes I make too. She would never make them herself, but she loves, I give her whenever I make it, you know. She's here. Oh, so what sauce did I buy the other day? I bought, I think maybe it was just one. I think, let me see. I bought Be Legendary by Pop Evil. I told you I was thinking about that one. I think I told you. If I didn't tell you, I was thinking about that one, and then I heard it again on Music Choice, and I'm like, I think I'll buy that. That's when I was going out and I wanted something. Going out just... not going out for fun, going out to do errands and to go to my mom's apartment and get the food that I had taken out to thaw, and then she was sick and was going to be here and not there, so I needed to get that food so it wouldn't go bad and make it here instead of there, and all that business. pepper I told you about. Did I just buy once? Did I buy more than one? I just bought that one song. So I wanted my broth really badly, just like I wanted that shake the other night. I get the Simply Organic. I get these from Vitacost. Yeah, Simply Organic. I get these, and they have one of those things there, but see how this doesn't have it? Well, I had cumin, and I thought, since I'm just having this soup, and I'm going to really spice it up good, because Mom's not having it, I'm going to be eating it before she even comes back here. I accidentally didn't realize there was no cover on the cumin, and I poured fucking cumin all in it, like ridiculously so. Okay? It's better than pouring cayenne, but I can't drink. I'm going to have to add more broth to that, which I don't have any. I told you I only broke down and bought it expensive in the store the other day while I wait and swallow my pride and do a Vitacost order. So what I did instead, I had bread here from when my mom was here. Like I took the bread from her apartment, and I had hummus that I bought when the church woman took me to the store Saturday night. I added more spinach and kale to my broth, and I made 2 pieces of nice Ezekiel flaxbread toast, put hummus on it, which is delicious store brand organic hummus. I wish I could make it myself. Red peppers, oh, so good. And I just took a whole bunch of spinach kale from that broth. I also tried to spoon out some of the cumin and put it in the sink, but it's not going to work. It dissolves into the broth, And I had that, and I put that on top of the toast, and that was good. But I really wanted the broth. The broth's not ruined. It's temporarily ruined. You know what I mean? All I have to do is dilute it with more broth, and I'll be fine. That will mean buying more broth in the store, because I'm not going to wait till it comes from Vitacost. I haven't even done the Vitacost order yet, And I'm not getting cherry juice. Inside joke to anybody who knows that story. I'm not out of the cherry juice anyway, but I'm not going to get cherry juice. Not getting cherry juice. So I'm hoping that when, how things improve, I'm hoping that maybe NutriBullet doesn't make the old kind of NutriBullets anymore. They improve their design where you don't have to sit there and hold it down. Where you just put it on a certain setting and it does it itself. But that might just be an advanced NutriBullet. They might still make the old ones, and that might be what's on sale at Bloomingdale's and not the good new kind. And if we're going to get one, if I'm going to get one, I'm going to get the new kind that you don't. So even for my peace of mind, so I don't have to sit there and every single time I make my delicious friggin' NutriBullet shake, I'm remembering on Inside Edition, wishing that I'd never been heard about it, where they demonstrate it with a fake thing, an animated thing, whatever. They demonstrate how it sliced the woman's hand all up, and it wasn't, and they said that this happens to people rarely, but when it does, they're not using it correctly. But they're going to insist to the contrary, and there's a lawsuit, and it can't happen if it's sitting over there and stops on its own and you just press a button like in a blender, That's the thing about a NutriBullet. You have to press it down. I could be a spokesperson for NutriBullet. I fucking love that thing. I love it. I do. I love it. And it's way easier to clean up than a friggin' blender with all its little... think about it. Oh, and then when the NutriBullet was broken, I had this whole shake I'd made and I couldn't do anything with it, or so I thought, I figured. I was so upset. And then I couldn't find my blender. I couldn't find the pieces to the blender. Remember, a blender has more sharp pieces. There's the thing that sticks underneath. That's the plastic that you go and twist on the... You know? It's way more complicated than a NutriBullet. Another reason I love the freaking NutriBullet. You know I love NutriBullet. I told you when I first got my NutriBullet, I made videos. I said how much I love NutriBullet. I'd always heard about it, but I didn't have one. Did I only just buy that one song the other day? Maybe I did. I thought I bought more than one, though. I was going back and forth between 2 new songs. I've bought a lot of new songs over the past few months. Maybe we'll do an update of all my songs. The newer ones. I'm not going to go through all the old ones again, but the newer ones that I bought just over the past, I don't know, 5 or so months, I guess. Something like that. So newer songs, we have 37 Stitches, Adrenaline, Be Legendary, maybe I'll do my newer songs from over the past year, because Blood in the Water, that might be even more than 5 months ago. It was, okay, Blood in the Water is a newer song. Let's say songs I bought over the past year. That'll work. That way we skip things like, whatever, old songs. Devil with Angel Eyes, that's a newer one. I'm not even going to say the bands, I'm just going to say the song. Faster. Feel Like I Do. Fucked Up World, Gentleman, Hallelujah, Hater, if we say over the past year, then I'm a Wanted Man, In the End, It Doesn't Matter, if I put a Death Punch, Lift Me Up, I figured Death Punch, Low Life, There of a Dead Man, Make this life. Oh yeah, okay. The other song that I bought was the one I told you about, that monster song by Hands Held High. Is that what it's called? Anyway, so Monster by, can't read that. Not Hands Held High. Hands Like Something. Doesn't matter. Hands Like Houses, yeah. So Monster by Hands Like Houses and Be Legendary, the ones I bought the other day. Just for something to have when I was going out. I wanted something new to listen to when I was going out walking about. Doing shit in the bitter, bitter cold before I got sick. Then Monsters. My songs Know What You Did in the Dark, Mrs. Hyde, Natural. These are songs I bought over the past year. A lot of them over the past just a few months, several months. I believe these older ones, like Nobody Praying for Me and Not Strong Enough and all of that, and Notorious, that's over a year ago, but I'm not sure. But the ones I'm talking about are within the past several months, probably. Not even over the past year, but I could find out exactly when I bought all of them, you know. I bought them all from Amazon, so I could find out when I bought them all. The ones from Theory of a Dead Man, I don't know if that was within the past year. The ones I got, you know, the RX and of course, Shine Down, Save Me. Secrets, Shim. Sick As I Delete His Way. I got my cousin. Oh no, that Sick Love song is from Motley Crue. It's when I bought their album for like $5 from Amazon. Some ridiculous thing. I don't know. Sorry by Art Dying. Sting Like a Bitch, Shim. Straight Jacket Supermodel, that was probably within the past year. Perhaps Not, Survival of the Sickest. You already know how much I loved that until I wore it out. Take Me to Church is that's Hosier, but that's not within the past year. That was when I broke my foot. So that was over a year ago. Some of these might be over a year ago, and I think they're within the past year. Yeah, I think some of these are the Thunder Rolls, and the Wolf is might be within the past year. This Is Gonna Hurt, 6 a.m., that's within the past year. Thunder's over a year ago, probably. Imagine Dragons. Top of the World's definitely within the past year. That's Five Finger Death Punch. Uncomfortable, Hailstorm. That's recent. Untraveled Road. That's by, I forget. from the Giants and Giant. I don't remember one of their songs. I don't know. I don't know Giants. That the name of the band or something. Walk away, 5-finger death punch. Wash it all away, 5-finger death punch. What it is. That's from the lead singer of Korn, Jonathan Davis. I have it twice. I have to remove one of them. The sun never rise, 5-finger death punch. World on Fire is Slash and Miles Kennedy, whatever. You call me a bitch. It's a bad thing. Hailstorm. And there we go. Yes, so the ones I bought the other day were that Monster song and Be Legendary. Didn't love them as much as I loved some others that I did, like Do Not Disturb, for example. But I liked them enough to be listening to them repeatedly. And I don't have to love every song. Sometimes I just want new shit. Bye-bye.